It's the 40 days after Easter, and Christ is alive. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. And here we are by the empty tomb. Isn't it awesome? Awesome season of the church right now. And we're hitting a story about fishing. So, many fishing stories in the Bible. Jesus set up shop quite a bit by the Sea of Galilee or the Sea of Tiberias, whatever you want to call it. So I've been thinking about fishing this week, and lo and behold, I bumped into two live fisher people this week. And so the first one you just met, Michelle. Isn't that awesome? So literally, Michelle, Trinity, and John are going fishing literally today. Is that awesome or what? So then, the wheels started turning, and then I roped her in for a time for discovery. So that is so awesome. But then, get this. I was visiting someone this week, and I got permission from the family to share this story. I was visiting one of our neighbors here at church, Reynold Krula, and I was there with Reynold. He is 95 years old, and his daughter, Deb. And we were just talking, reminiscing about life. And Deb was talking about all the work that Reynold did to get food on the table for the family. And South Omaha guy worked in the packing house. I wonder if he would have known you, Bob, or others. I just thought of all the different people that have come through this church and South Omaha churches that worked in the packing house and still do today. So, and then he had another job, I can't quite remember, and the third job was commercial fisherman. Isn't that amazing? And so Deb, the daughter, was talking about winter nights, and her dad would be mending the nets, the fishing nets. And then she started talking about all the different kinds of nets. And there were trammel nets. Anybody ever heard of trammel nets before? And there were hoop nets. And she was describing hoop nets to me. So when I got back to the office, the first thing I did was I went online and I had to look up trammel nets and hoop nets. So there I was on the U.S. Fishing and Wildlife website, reading more about these different kinds of nets. And then lo and behold, I got a text from Deb, who had just talked to her brother in California, and the brother was sending videos about fishing. So then I had to do research for my sermon, so I was watching fishing videos. And the videos featured hoop nets. So let's take a look at hoop nets. There you can see it. So this is from my phone. So I'm like watching a video, and I'm like, oh, that looks like a good one. I just kept trying to snap screenshots as I was watching this video. And so they're really, I'm sure there's lots of YouTube channels. Maybe even Mike Charleston has his own fishing. I think he has his own YouTube channel too, fishing, etc. So this one is kind of funny. I was trying to place the accent. It's like an Arkansas accent. So he's a good fisherman. He's teaching his experiences and how he fish and all this stuff. But the key thing pertinent to the conversation we were having was these hoop nets. And that's like, there's like an outer hoop. And then there's another hoop inside that. So I noticed there was another whole video called Storing Your Nets. And can you imagine trying to store a hoop net and then bringing a hoop net in from the river? But the outer net has bigger holes and in the mesh, and then they get smaller so the fish can swim in to the bait. She talked about bait being cheese, not gummies, cheese, old cheese, in fact, moldy cheese sometimes. So the fish can swim in, and then they can't get back out the mesh. So then you bring, it's not reeling. It's not reeling, is it? You're probably going to use a reel, right? You're going to cast out. And these you set and then bring in. So watching the video was very dramatic because anything there. And then you get to the last little hoop and it'd be like, oh, oh yeah, there's fish in there, and they'd be flapping around. So let's just take a look at some more fish net. Oh, did you already go through some? Okay, because I was thinking she was toward the end. Okay, yeah, you see a whole bunch of hoop nets there. Okay, just don't want to lose track there. And then, so this is main guy, and then I'm going to refer to her later. So she's holding up some fish. And then did you show the fish? And I'll share this now. I was going to wait till the end. But I just love this expression, and I hadn't heard it in a long time. They caught themselves a mess of fish. Have you heard that term, mess of fish? Oh, it's been a while since I've heard that term. A mess of fish. They caught themselves a mess of fish. So isn't that wondrous? 2 fishing stories the week that we're doing that. And is there anything you guys would like to throw out there about fishing, memories of fishing, ways of fishing? Anything you want to share? Oh, Beth? Okay, fly fisherman. And that reminds me of a river runs through it. And he was a Presbyterian pastor also, who was a fly fisherman. Mm-hmm. Columbia into the Pacific. Okay, growing up in Oregon. Yeah. Oh, oh, you did, or did, you always got a mess of fish, Kate, fishing with her dad. Karen. I like that. That sounds very indigenous people. You catch it and then kiss it and then release it. Thank you, fish. Thank you, spirit of the fish. Okay.